Welcome to Top Ideas, and if you're joining us for the first time, please consider subscribing to this channel. In today's video, we will explore some clever ways intelligent people deal with difficult and toxic people. These individuals always seem to cause unnecessary drama. They are often the driving force behind a conflict. They negatively impact the emotional well-being of those who have to deal with them. Toxic people certainly don't know how to earn respect from others. Some of them seem to derive satisfaction from creating chaos and pushing other people's buttons, while others are blissfully unaware of the negative impact that they have on those around them. This is the 12 ways intelligent people deal with difficult and toxic people. Number 1. They ignore attention seekers. Often, toxic people compulsively seek attention at all costs. Even if it's somebody's birthday, toxic people will always find a way of making everything about them. It usually begins with small actions, interrupting people or talking over them, being unnecessarily loud or obnoxious, or acting out. Usually, if they do not get the attention they crave, their actions become more drastic, starting arguments, throwing a tantrum, or acting destructively. Good social cohesion relies on everybody getting their chance to talk, joke, and have fun. A social circle should never revolve around one person. If this is the case, the best course of action is to pay little or no attention to that person and instead spend more time with the quieter and more reserved members of the group. Number 2. They do not trust share secrets with gossipers. Toxic people will share deep secrets with people just to seem momentarily interesting, and they will frequently judge or gossip about people behind their backs. If you meet somebody who does this, do not be fooled into thinking that they are gossiping with you because they like you or trust you. They will just as easily betray your trust. Toxic people will often talk behind somebody's back to you in the hopes that they will agree with them. They will then go and tell the other person what you said. This creates friction between two people, leaving the toxic person in the middle holding all the cards. It's a diversified and manipulative method of gaining friends or power in a social group. Do not take the bait. Number 3. They spend time with trustworthy and loyal friends. In contrast to the point made previously, clever people will develop a strong support network of loyal and trustworthy people. They know that they do not have to be everybody's friend, and not everybody is deserving of their friendship. In turn, they reward their friends' loyalty and trust by showing that it works both ways. Clever people know that true friendship and fidelity is one of the rarest and most valuable commodities you would ever have in life, and they will not allow this to be corrupted by toxic, negative, and untrustworthy people. Number 4. They avoid manipulative people. Manipulative people will ruin your life. They will callously manipulate your feelings in order to make you act in a certain way to further their goals. Compulsively, manipulative people often have few redeemable qualities, so it is worth avoiding them altogether. In order to avoid them, however, you must first recognize the signs of a manipulative person. Do you find yourself constantly feeling strong or unstable emotions when they are around? Anger, irritation, sadness, or inadequacy? Do you often question why they might have said something? Do you get the suspicion that you are being deceived? If so, it is likely that the person is trying to toy with your emotions and are best avoided. Number 5. They allow liars to trip themselves up. Toxic people will often lie compulsively, not just to others, but to themselves. They will often perform mental gymnastics to convince themselves that their lives are reality. Unfortunately, lies are actually very hard to keep up. Recounting a true event is relatively easy, but keeping track of a bunch of made-up stories is difficult. Liars end up exposing themselves and over time by contradicting themselves with other lies. Number 6. They do not get involved in petty feuds and drama. Most people like to keep arguments solely in the realms of themselves and whoever they are arguing with. Toxic people aren't like that. They love to air their dirty laundry in public, and when an argument breaks out, they want everybody to pick a side. It doesn't matter if you're involved or not. It barely matters if you even know the two people involved. A toxic person will not allow you to remain neutral. Often, fights between one or more toxic people can be cataclysmic, and it is the inner innocent bystanders caught in this crossfire that will suffer the most. There are 6 words that will save you from being sucked into the storm that comes when toxic people argue. It has nothing to do with me. Number 7. They stand up to bullies. This is perhaps the most important way of handling a toxic person. Standing up to bullying wherever you see it. Most decent people will help the helpless, defend the vulnerable, and assist those who need it. Toxic people prey on anybody that's considered to be weak. It could be somebody who is a little shy, socially awkward, or even somebody who lacks physical prowess. Toxic people will bully and take advantage of anybody who they think won't stand up to them, which is why it is important to stand up to toxic people, not just for yourself, but for others around you. Number 8. They ignore insults. Insults come in many forms, but the most cleverly disguised insults are disguised as compliments. For example, I've never had the confidence to wear that. You're so funny and you don't even realize it. You're such a nice person. These are just a few tiny veiled insults that will leave you wondering what they meant, which in turn leaves you seeking approval. And finally, your emotions will get affected. Some might even say, "Hey, you look good today," even though you are probably having one of the worst days. The best thing to do in situations like this is to focus on who you are and what you know is true. Take whatever it is being said as compliments and nothing more than that. Number 9. They do not indulge self-pitying people. Toxic people will often put on a mask of helplessness in order to trick and manipulate people or emancipate themselves from responsibility. You will often hear a toxic person saying that they can't pay you back because they can't find a job, and they can't find a job because they haven't got any qualifications, and they haven't got any qualifications because their teachers mistreated them at school, and so on and so forth. There is always a reason for their failure, which is out of their hands, and it is always up to you to sort it out. And if you do not, well, then you are just the same as everybody else who's mistreated them throughout the terrible ordeal that is their life. Some level of self-pity is totally healthy after a nasty breakup, a death in the family, but there is always a point where you have to grow up and accept responsibility for your own destiny, because it is nobody else's job but yours. Self-pitying people live in a vacuous maelstrom of misery and make absolutely no efforts to affect any change in their lives. Avoiding self-pitying people and refusing to justify their apathy is not only good for them, but will stop you from being sucked into their depressing world of self-perpetuating failure. Number 10. They demand straight answers to their questions. Toxic people will often go out of their way to give arbitrary, vague, non-committal or misleading answers to questions. Just ask anybody who has ever been involved in the criminal justice system. The lengths a toxic person will go to avoid giving a satisfactory answer are incredible. This is done not just to withhold information, but also to prevent anybody from telling them they are backtracked later. The trick to getting around this is to present them with only closed questions, that is, a question with a yes or no answer. This will force them to make their intentions clear and prevent them from playing mind games with you or others. Number 11. Look straight in the eyes of toxic people. Most toxic people lack confidence and have very low self-esteem. They know they don't have what it takes to make a difference in any group, so they rather talk down on the ones that do and make them feel as low as they are. The goal is to make you feel worthless enough to be a failure like them. The best way to overcome this situation is to stand up to them and tell them to their face that you understand what their game plan is, but will not fall for it. You can also look straight, making sure you have eye contact, and offer to help them to be the best of themselves, but do not be surprised if they do not take your offer. Number 12. Be calm and know your worth. Like everything else, human beings love to be acknowledged once in a while, either for being a great worker or as little as always showing up to work early. Toxic people are all around us, and in most cases, we work with them and they will always want to make that extra effort you put in at work count for nothing. Some might say you are show off because you are just good at your job, or you are making them look bad because you take that work or project seriously. Whatever the case is, always remember to stay calm and be the best you can be. Never sell yourself short because you want to please that co-worker. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you got a lot of value from this. Please consider subscribing to our channel if you haven't done so yet, and also check out more cool videos like this on our channel. Thank you and have a wonderful day.